Alex Ansary here. Today's date is March 30th in the year 2024. I will be continuing to speak in a free flow manner about my ideas on a daily basis for those of you, men and women, around the planet that need some inspiration and strength. Okay, so it was my intention to project some of that. Not a victim consciousness, and not a consciousness that I know everything. I clearly explained to you that I don't know everything, and I've walked into certain traps. We're going to talk about some of those traps today. Now, I am making attempts to reach the people of Portland, Oregon, because I'm from there. But the consciousness in Portland is not good. But I am attempting to reach the few people that are listening, including folks that at one point I looked up to as a father figure. I'm very concerned by the stories of assaults that I'm seeing in Portland, Oregon. It is something that I predicted, and so when I put out a video like yesterday on the basics of self-defense, and I say things that, you know, if you're with a woman, you should know how to defend her and their children. And you shouldn't just be relying on the firearms. What if ammunition runs out? I've been laughed at MMA clubs like Alive MMA on Woodstock in Portland, Oregon for suggesting such things. And those folks got into right-wing ideology later on, showing that they're not super intelligent on more than a few levels. I'm probably going to be yelling in a few days, just so you know. You probably don't want to watch if you're not into that, because I will be running out of my medication. THC, due to limitations on funds. I am not going to beg you for anything at all. I'm just going to live my life with what I'm able to work with financially, which means living in a part of the country that I despise and not being around what I would consider to be affordable medicine or community. And so what it's really done is it's hardened me. It's hardened me. It's made me angrier at the systems of control. And so while you're like, Alex, I like you, though. I gave you a compliment. Well, I hear you. When I saw the compliment, it's you versus a planet of 8 billion. And until you and I figure out how to get me out of the ghetto, until you and I figure out how to get Solar Wars 2025 into the hands of talk show hosts that give a damn, I'm going to continue to be fucked for being brilliant. You understand? Yes, I'm smart, and you may have figured that out. But most of you won't be around in 1 year because your ratio of success rate is less than 1%. Your success rate in not judging me and throwing me away when you hear emotional things about my background is less than 1%. It's less than that. And that's as far as I'm going to go. Because it's time for you to access your power and activate as the eclipse comes. So there will be yelling and shouting, folks, when I run out of my cannabis, CBD, THC, due to financial constraints, because I'm going to take some of that, what I have been doing with my limited income and savings from the land that I sold, which I wish I had, because even though I don't have a retirement for my mom, the plan was in the back of my pocket for my mom to be able to leave and enter the nature, from the grid to nature, even though we're not connected, in the event of a major, attack from Russia on the U.S. And this is exactly how I saw it in my mind for over 10 years. Now, I hope everything that I've projected isn't going to happen. Nick from Portland commented, he seemed to perceive that I was predicting the invasion in 2025. Incorrect. Incorrect. What I said was that events could happen in or around 2025 that could lead to events that could include the possible either invasion of the U.S. or invitation to the U.S., or maybe even they're invited by whoever takes power in America to quell the resistance. There's a number of different scenarios. Leon may be correct. Leon may be incorrect. I believe he's correct about his vision. I believe that Leon is incorrect about me being worthless. See what I'm saying with that? I believe he's psychic on one level, and then I believe his other perceptions are above and beyond anything normal. What kind of man asks another man whether he's gay or not in order to determine his value and how deep he's going to go in his reading? Ha 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 ha! See, I believe in being a man of discernment. So for years I've been a researcher. I've been in the streets, folks, and in some cases literally jails, institutions, not mental hospital, but drug rehab. And I've dealt with challenges. Okay, my mother wants to send a message. I'm proud of your book. Okay, so you get an energetic truce from me on a level. It is unfortunate, however, that in these last days that more cannot be said before the lights go out. And I would just encourage all of you to do better in these last days, because you don't know where we're going to be in 1 year. And so I encourage all of you to write books about what you think you know. No more of this private dance or spirituality. It's my secret. There's no such thing in my understanding at present of a private spirituality. There's private sexuality where you hide it, your sexuality, from the public. That's what you hide. You hide the fornication and the penetration and the double penetration, or what you do with you and yours, or whatever. And we're going to talk about the orgy idea. What is there ever a consciousness version of polygamy? Yes, there is, but it's not in today's day and age, and that's what I really meant to talk to you about. As many of you are probably feeling very strong baby-making concepts at this time. You know, you may be feeling that drumbeat within that's going, I've already gotten an email from a certain somebody out there that asked my advice on bringing forth a form of life into this reality, but he's someone that already has experience with that. And then other people, like a certain somebody that you've seen me interview, he has his trauma that he's spoken about on his channel about what a woman did to him after he brought a form of life into this world. She, from Russia, worked to destroy his life, like in a focused way with powerful people. And he's talked about these things. And so there's reasons. It's not so much attacking, but seeing from the experience of myself, my father, and my mother, and others, that certain people are going to have issues in this humanoid reality, whereas others, they're going to get a free pass to become powerful, wealthy, to have children. And being a person of light and intelligence and being ethnically different is not, in fact, a red carpet rollout to have awesome things happen to you in this world, despite what people say about the woke movement. The woke movement, in my understanding, is not actually against racism, but is creating more of it through this white versus black thing while ignoring the third world and the truth about 9/11. The truth about 9/11 has nothing to do with the woke movement, and if you think that there's 9/11 truthers in the woke movement, you need to drop a link now in an email, but you can't, and you know that you can't. If you have to think in your brain for more than a few minutes about who might be a left-wing 9/11 truther who knows that the Afghan people did not pull off those attacks, who's also a woker who says Black Lives Matter, say their name now or forever hold your peace. No, now. No, now. No, now. No, not you go pause the video and open up new tab. If you don't know right now who's exposing the truth about 9/11 and who's a woker, then you don't know who's truly against racism. They've taken over this blanket term, anti-racism, and they're creating more of it. You need men in your society that want to see women protected from barbarians. And so, no, you shouldn't be looking down upon me looking up to a bouncer, actually. That's your problem, society. You look down upon men that protect women. That's your problem, society. You assume that all Middle Eastern Arabic men want to force the woman to clip her vagina and just be a bloody mess down there, like something out of October 7th in Israel. No, you know it's true that there's this psychosis. You're getting sleepier. The men of a certain genetic code literally destroy the lives of women until they're incorporated into the Americult, spelled with 3 Ks, instead of 1 C. This is the truth. You can't simultaneously go along with this hatred, fear, people that look like they're of military build. It's like, wow, the pressure is on, folks, for me to stop working out. Folks, the pressure is on, folks, for me to stop working out. And I'm telling you, fuck you. If you want to profile me and say that I look like a military build man from across the border, and ignore my Anglo-Saxon ancestry from the Welsh and Austrian just because of what you're seeing on the outside, that's on you. And there's a special place in hell, and you can get yourself out of hell by becoming conscious, but there's a special type of hell that people are living in psychologically that will simultaneously kill people that look like you and step on the land of your ancestors and bomb it while saying you have no place to speak against the hate of your people because you look like an Italiano. You don't look like one of them. Man, you are fucked up. That's a special type of gaslighting and frequency that's next level. And most of you have never gotten those messages in your inbox from people that have killed people that look like you, to only be called schizoid and nutcase for asserting that your life has value. The Yay Man fought men in the streets that killed men that looked like him in Vietnam, but he didn't end up trolled by them on social media because social media didn't exist. They didn't end up in his nightmares. They weren't watching him speak about his light and truth throughout the 1970s and 80s. Because that was a different time. We now live in a new time to where that masculinity can be demonstrated in a more evolved way than the nightclub, streets, and underworld. This is not to judge and point fingers. There's plenty of awesome things that were done under the radar because this system is a corrupt system. There's reasons why, folks, people turned to the underworld in the 60s and 70s and 80s when they knew how corrupt this system and the corporations were. Corporations want to act like they're some sort of a victim. Corporations want to act like they're a person. No, you're not. You're raping and burning the third world. And any chance somebody gets, excuse the French, to jab you, so to speak, and get a little bit of juice back to survive this matrix, more power to them. So you gotta understand, I don't have any moral qualms myself with people doing what they got to do to survive corporate America. We'll leave it at that. Because gangsterism never went away. It's now the big banks, it's the military, but the cool stuff, the charismatic stuff of the good guy, just like in the old days of pro wrestling, the good guy, it's all been severed after the 90s into the end of the 2000s. We went through a shift with the solar shift, and it became the rise of the villain. And even the A-man became a villain to me and I to him. As in pro wrestling, the villains came out. No longer I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. Now it's body slam the woman, kick the woman's ass, rise of the Undertaker, and the Undertaker copycat-like roles in the WE because they lost their creativity with the solar cycle. So they're just going, bring us more death and destruction, bad boys. And you get what we have here today, which is the way that he wants it. Well, he gets it. I just hope, cue the lyrics from Guns N' Roses' Civil War. We've got sun, folks. We've got sun. So I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. It's not that men are to blame. It's not that women are to blame. It's that men and women have become zombies. And men and women of the 80s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, to me, are attractive. Sexually, mentally, intellectually, I would love to go in a time machine and hang out with my mom's friends, my dad, his friends, the A-man and his friends. Well, actually, not his friends. The A-man's friends hate me, and I don't like at all his friends. And the A-man's greatest mistake was giving me up when I made my mistakes and continuing to rub elbows with others. Because I am the teacher now, and I have every right to say anything I want at any time. And no one is ever even going to think in their mind that I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to save souls of people that I care about. It's not an accident you found me. And it's not an accident that I have found certain people in this world. It's not an accident that certain people that may have been naughty in this world saw something in me as a little boy and tried to impart their knowledge and wisdom into me to save themselves. Whether it was enough is to be determined. But I've seen this in men before. I straight up been picked up by a guy in Archuleta County, a redhead who was from Mississippi or Georgia. He didn't look like shit to me, to be honest with you. But I knew he was a nutter. And he would brag about pistol whipping people as a collector. And say, I'm helping you, Alex, because I did this to a guy in the intersection. And then I go, yeah, well, I know this guy in Portland. And he told me, and then all of a sudden his smile went to a frown, and his like alpha status, he's acting like his you know what, was just being cut. And I'm basically telling him, yeah, you can say all that, but I'm not impressed by you bragging about this. Because people that did this, I'm impressed by a guy because he helped me. Now, if you want to talk to me about being this, that, and the that, and teach me how to defend myself, and teach me about how to assert myself, not that the A-man was perfect. There's some things he did that were negative. But he did some things to promote, at least verbally, me developing confidence. And trying to drill that into me, you need to develop this confidence. And this obvious lack of confidence obviously created problems for me even when I lived off grid, because I wasn't living it 100% in my brain, my faith in God. That's the confidence, because we're not talking about a knockout punch in a street situation here, are we? No, but we are talking about delivering the knockout blow to the dark grid, which is mentioned in, for those of you that have got yourself a copy of Solar Wars 2025. And when you purchase a copy of my book, sure, a little bit's going to Amazon, but you have a physical copy. This is a different book. You have a physical copy of my words. And so when it's over, as the song by Loverboy says, you're going to have a copy. Okay? So yes, I will consume my last vape here, and I will descend into the underworld of withdrawal in about 48 hours. And so, future uploads will feature loud. No, I'm not going to ask you for donations. We're just going to do this, okay? I'm just going to not have the finances. I'm going to go off my meds, and I'm going to scream. I'm going to shout, and some of you are going to be like, oh my God, I did not expect this. This is too much, bro. You can't talk to me like that, bro. Bro, you can't. I love you, bro, but I've been here for. How could you say that? I'm your biggest fan. It has to be said. The A-man told me when he threw me, ditched me for corporate America, you made your bed, sleep in it. If he would have continued to enable me, if he would have rewarded me with what I wanted, was to, introduce me to bad boys so I can be a bad boy too, God, my life would have been destroyed. You understand? He did me a favor. I'm doing you a favor. I'm telling you the things that you need to hear. Because there's a lot of people in your world that are the bad men in this world that aren't going to tell you. You made your bed, you sleep in it. Okay. And when you do drugs or do certain things that bring in demons, you can bring other people at risk. But to be quite honest with you, when I met the G-Man in 1999, who I believe is now in the audience, okay, everybody say hello to the G-Man. The G-Man has entered the building. The G-Man is now in the audience. He has been summoned by the cosmic forces. G-Man, I'm willing to correct things with you and retract anything that you would like me to, but I have talked openly, just so you know, about the mistakes that we made and the mistake that I made. Ever talking to you? and ever accepting a ride from you. And ultimately, it's my father's fault, ultimately, for making me go to Wilson High School in 1996. For had my father not taken me to Wilson High School, I would have never met you. I would have never let you convince me to do what we did, and I would have never became a convicted F. And you, as a convicted F, did favors for Mike Bluehair, who threw me out of his house when he was being taken care of by that woman who you know he met through me, and you know you met people through me, and you know you stayed in contact on Facebook with people that you met through me while ignoring me forever. Never telling your sister about me. Never telling your sister about my ancestry and this. How the DNA in me brought your people this, and you never had that light bulb go off above your head, but you went to Goenka and Vipassana, while not realizing your soul was sent in to interfere with the soul of Ansary. You were sent my way. You were sent my way. And I was aware you were sent my way when we took LSD in 1998 in that apartment, and in my understanding, in my gnosis, the devil was in you, in that smirk. You were smirking. You were conscious at that point in your adulthood that you were to lead me to the dark side. It wasn't an accident. You weren't born with a chemical imbalance. Whatever Bill W. taught you in AA, taught you like a philosophy or something that you're not actually accountable for your actions, and that you can flip a dude $100 bill in 2010 right off into the sunset to your wonderful new life, to your wonderful new job, and you fulfilled your 12-step requirement. Bill W. brainwashed you, and Bill W. brainwashed a great deal of people in America by not talking about the deep-seated issues that lead to drugs and alcohol addiction, and it has nothing to do, sir, with powerlessness. Not only did you attempt to dominate the conversation and get me into trouble, but you know through Scully's and the chain-smoking attitude and the Bible thumping, the big book thumping, that you were attempting to dominate the recovery conversation. And as soon as I got into OTB TV, because of your lust for women, womp, 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 ba-da-dum-dum-dum, as if your woman today knows about our friendship, as if you would ever in a million years tell the women that you have dated about the great Alex Ansary and what you did to him, G-Man. Now, G-Man, if I said something and you want me to retract something so that you don't deal with any negativity, I'll do that. I'll do that. I just need it for my own healing between you and me and the 50 people watching this. Not 50,000, but 50 people, because I am suppressed, and you're wrong if you think for 1 second out of a million years, buddy. That goes for you too, Aaron, right? You want to put this guy, Stefan Molyneux, above me and not expect me to erupt like Mount St. Helens in May 1980 within me? Bro, you folks don't know me. And you certainly don't know the new me. You know the old me, G-Man. You know the old me, Aaron. And Aaron, what are you doing acting like you're masculine or something and anti-feminine when you can't even hold the camera straight in 2014 when thugs are saying to you, turn off the camera, when they're getting ready, they're threatening to beat my ass. And I stare them down, and I don't move, and I tell you, keep filming, don't listen to them. If they're going to beat my ass, then they're going to do time and be held accountable. Make them beat my ass. Don't stop recording. You don't stop recording, Aaron. You stop recording. And you've made many mistakes admiring Tim Pool, admiring Stefan Molyneux, and saying there's no genocide in Palestine. All of you people that used to come to my meetups in Portland, Oregon are no good. Angel Sully, the welfare queen in Portland, Oregon, who is making money from the city of Portland, Oregon, who wouldn't even get on Facebook and say Alex is homeless, who led me on to think that she would leave me, her boyfriend for me, rather, if she were to have feelings for me the way I felt about her. That's satanic, folks. to have sexual feelings for a woman, let alone a woman who has 3 kids and a boyfriend, and for her to be a part of the welfare industry, to give drug addicts free housing that aren't from Portland, for that woman to not even care about you. Folks, this is real, folks. I'm not some man that hates white people or women or any of that or Portland. The people of Portland are just rotten, period. There's very little that I know of that's good that's coming out of Portland. I am something that's good that came out of Portland, that got out of Portland, that's beaming my consciousness telepathically back into Portland. And I'm not feeling love from Portland women. A witch contacted me and offered to hang out with me, like thinking I was in Portland, and talked down to me for telling her about the archons and promiscuity. The passing on of entities through random sex with people. She attacked me more than once. I knew if I was going to go back on the air in Portland, Oregon, that I was going to be dealing with a satanic witch energy coming at me. And there's virtually nobody from Portland, Oregon that's messaging me going, bro, I'm telling people at coffee shops about you. Because I'm brave and confident. I believe that sometimes people are brought together sexually, even if the parents aren't meant to be with each other. And so she does address this in a chapter here. But if you only look at the dark side of Cupid, then you're only looking at the dark side. Okay, so can there be, in a survival situation, a shit hit the fan scenario in which you don't have the indigo children, but you have lots of children that are born that are satanic, that are blood drinking, that are vampires, that are basically something out of V for Vendetta? What do you do then, ladies and gentlemen? What do you do? That was a question. If it gets that bad, you're going to have to sexually out-procreate the demons. Do you even have a clue how to do that? I do. I do. I do. Think about a situation in which conscious men and women that have filtered out their demons have what you would call a sex orgy, and they bring children into the earth, but they don't own the children, and they don't hurt the children, and they don't make the children be a part of their cult. You belong to this. You may have parents that donated your material, but you belong to God or the village. Okay? And you're going to learn to respect women and protect women, and women are not your property, period. There can be what you would consider to be a polygamous. Like, I'd be willing in a reality, the right reality, to have 30, 40 kids. Wives, not so much. But partners, sure. Sure, I would do that. But the women would have to be of a certain consciousness, and it would have to be demonstrated that they're not going to murder the kid upon birth. And what you have right now, and I'm not reporting it for a reason because I don't want to add a misogyny, because the misogyny is going to come about from what's coming. But they've duped some women to be possessed enough to kill their kids. They're making news now that they killed their kids. And people are looking at this, and they're going to take this out on innocent women that haven't been born yet. See, I can think tank because I'm an advanced soul, multiple chess pieces, and the fact that you're just watching this and making this your private thing, and the fact that I can only generate 3 likes is straight up Satanism, and you know it. If you don't realize that I'm heavily oppressed with 3 likes for this video after going on one of the largest talk shows, you're a nutter. You're a nutter. You're a nutter. If you think I did something wrong here, to only get 3 likes for yesterday's video, teaching you how to prevent a abduction, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Fuck you. Now, that's for those of you that are demons. For those of you that are angelic beings that are here, welcome, brothers and sisters. You can do it. You can defeat the demons. Okay? You can defeat the evil. Okay? You can defeat wickedness. Okay? You can defeat possessions. You can cure yourself. You can heal yourself. You can overcome your lust for women that want you to conform to be a bad boy or alpha by their standards. That tells you something. If a man like me is an author, a man like me works out. A man like me wants to protect women. A man like me reads books. A man like me wants to go to the gym. A man like me likes to paint. And yet women do not like me on the earth. They watch me for a little bit. They develop voices in the head. They perceive that it's gang stalking. They don't address the parasite issue. They don't recognize that I'm a child of God and that I am here to wake up the feminine. And so the female students have not yet arrived yet. at the level that needs to be in attendance. You need to arrive on time, take the transcriptions as they have been provided for you, and the books as they will be put into your hands in the next 12 months if you are ready for these teachings. Okay, I have a message for black men, black women, white men, white women, Afghan men, Afghan women, Indian men, Indian women. If you want to play this game of like me talking to you at your level, I can do that if you demand. I've been speaking in a shotgun manner so far to all souls. But I don't always speak, this is just for you, heterosexual black man. Okay, and where are these strong, masculine, spiritual, heterosexual black men? They exist. But do they exist at a level to where they have been drawn to my content, to where they are informed of my content, to where they are watching my content, to where they're seeing something in a little 5'6", 5'7", below average height, although I don't feel my penis is below average, but that's another story. I don't need to brag about it. I don't need to feel unconscious about it, but I know in my mind that I don't actually meet certain stereotypes of a short male. And in fact, tall man syndrome does exist. That's literally looking down at someone and calling them a sawed-off something rather. That's only something an inferior little boy would do. There's reasons, folks, why some of us are not giants, and it has to do with the changes in the solar cycle, where we are on the planet, not just genetics and ancestry. Okay? It has to do with magnetic fields and technology and food changes and GMO. Okay, and geoengineering. It's a number of different factors at once. Just perceiving that somebody has weak or inferior genetics because they're below average height is only something that a retard would do. This bigger, faster, stronger, Arnold Schwarzenegger, juicy bodybuilding attitude is bullshit. Well, the A-man told me in private, all the people that he knew back in the day, from Dave Draper and others, that were popping off in the parking lots of gyms in California and Oregon that were juicing while they were lifting, ended up with damage. He told me the truth because he was working off his negative karma for being a naughty boy. But did he tell the truth to that other boy? It was the nephew of the man that he worked with. That was his replacement, Marv. Once he and Marv went to war with each other in the late 80s. I'll tell you that story another day, where they went at each other after they went to war on a crack house, and their demons sent them against each other, and they destroyed everything in his home. It's like a more destructive scene from They Live. It's like there's so many men in our society that have really destroyed their friendships and relationships due to rage and anger. Where is that righteous rage and anger at the system of control that for many years fed these individuals? And so, some of you are going to be shifting towards the light with this eclipse. But you've got to hold that light within you. Because when you decide to serve the light, when you decide to call out Satan's kingdom, things can happen to you that are not normal. Okay, you're lied to by the fake psychics of this world that are talking about this consciousness 5D. When I released my 2009, G-Man, you ever read that? You ever absorb what I wrote about the solar flares? Or just completely, chalk that up to mental illness? Just like so many others. Just like Angel Sully. Just like so many others. I looked at that solar flare article and went, you ain't shit. And here we are in 2024 with wars upon wars, and you can't even show me suspicious observers. The dude, the Big Lebowski, who wants to go on and on and on about the death of the white race, looks like he's doing just fine on his acreage there, and I'm sure his neighbors in New Mexico are not a threat to him and his loved ones. But do the white women of the world look to suspicious observers? Does the woman that I fornicated with many years ago care more about what I have to say about the solar flares or suspicious observers? Sometimes I get triggered because a woman that I loved, that I was imprinting my code into, or at least wanted to create life with, if she would give me the chance. without even realizing what she's saying, has praised men above me, from Clyde Lewis, suspicious observers, to Donald Trump, without showing a consciousness. Like, I would have had this woman have my children. I would have died for this woman. To have this woman praise right-wingers or to ignore me when I send her private emails and tell her, and to know that she is not even watching this right now. This lady didn't even realize. I'm not going to get... There was like, I came across, wow, you're not even watching my channel? Don't act like we're friends. Thank you for helping me on the level that you're at. Thank you. Thank you. Be cool, Alex. Be cool. Thank you for helping me at the level that you're at, which will be unspecified. Let me just put on my Eclipse glasses and just shut up now. So what we have to learn here, folks, is to be mature. Okay? Some people, we can meet them on a level, even though we want more. And what we got to do is we got to break. It's like that song, "The Future's So Bright, I got to wear shades. I got to wear Eclipse glasses." I'm not planning to travel to the path of totality, look up at the sun. Okay, I was in the path in 2017, and I know what it's like to be right in the path, and it's a very bizarre feeling. Some people want to be right in the path of it, and I think they're nutters. I don't know what's going on. Everywhere I look, I see this traveling, and we're going to go, and they're planning for major disruptions. Patrick sends me all these articles. I haven't got a chance to get into them. But just to summarize, I can't get online now because I don't want to be online. Sorry, I can't get all your emails, but there's hardly any coming in. Basically, it's like preparing for emergencies, preparing for grid down, troops on the streets, nuclear units running around, disaster drills, yet an event in Russia. Something's coming. Something's coming, obviously. But I'm not going to be online to take in this toxic energy and look at every article right now because there's a trap in it. Just like there's a trap in all these articles saying AI is going to kill me. Even if AI is going to kill me, okay, I'm still going to use aspects of AI to get my stuff transcribed. Okay, so take that, MSN.com. Take that, yeah. Yeah, MSN.com likes to listen to my conversations, wants to read what I type. So I'll be like, white people, black people, Muslim people, y'all need to wake up to the new world order. I'm like, literally, I put that in a title on my secret YouTube channel. No views. Then an article pops up from AI. White people, black people, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sorry, what? Did AI just plagiarize my ass and create a new article on MSN just for me? Black people, white people, blah, 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 y'all need to blah, blah, blah. Like, what the fuck is going on here, man? They can't hear me, but I can hear them. I think what we need here is a translator. Anyway, I don't see anything like, bad about getting one of these. $30 on eBay after shipping. I picked that up for $9. It works. They can't hear me, but if you had some friends, I would say grab a few of these and grab other walkie-talkies and say go to channel like 311, have like an agreement on what channel you'll go to, because it'll be more private. And maybe there are more encrypted walkie-talkies out there than that. Let's talk further. This is called adventuring, I believe. Okay. And I did go to Home Depot recently and pick up some rose quartz and black obsidian, and also I'll be making some sugarite bracelets. I have some sugarite wafers that are taped to this laptop to prevent radiation from the laptop from reaching me, and maybe even neutralizes entities. Okay. I have some synergy here. So as I go through my marijuana detox for a few days at least, I will be making lots of content. There will be more yelling than normal, more prana expressed, more trips to the gym. and maybe 3 or 4 hour marathons. So for those of you that are a little slower, that can't handle me doing coast to coast AM level programming, folks, I'm a one-man show. You'll just have to unsubscribe. I literally can go. I am the Energizer Bunny. Okay, whether it's the bedroom with the right woman, whether it's me speaking on a conference to a bunch of people. And while I've been attacked by black people, I've also overwhelmed some black people with some martial arts training sessions. Like that one guy that I remember practicing with in the desert in Costilla County, who later was becoming a content creator for Paseo. We were just messing around. He's like, wow. At that point, I was chain smoking like a mofo and smoking lots and lots of crap weed. And now I don't, so my endurance is better. I want to demonstrate to you certain endurance building self-defense exercises in the future, demonstrate the spring baton and why it is moral to carry this, especially if you have a woman, and how a lot of women right now, this is not misogyny, a lot of women in my experience, some of them, they have zero interest with prepping. Not only do they have a zero interest in being with good men, but many women are anti-prepping, anti-conscious prepping, okay? And then if you look at those that are into prepping and are into prepping groups, the men that are in the groups are totally unconscious. And if a man was to be conscious in those prepper groups with 1 million viewers, 1 million subscribers, 10 million members on Facebook, that person would be booted. I've been booted and excommunicated from massive off-grid groups for telling them that I was an ethnic minority in an all-white community and I wanted their advice on dealing with, just because I talked about that, they became so, the psychic attack was so angry. Basically, white people would become so infuriated with you if you expressed your trauma because they're led to believe by the woke movement that it's all a myth. So they're basically conditioned that if they come across me, a person with genuine, real trauma, who's experienced real black supremacy, real Afghan Islamic supremacy, and white, like all together in one punch at my face. Like all you people, even though you're fighting amongst each other, you all fucked me over. I've been attacked by Middle Eastern immigrants, including my father. I've been attacked by black people, and I've been attacked by white people and Latinos. I sure have warned you a lot about China. China, I'm sorry if you're watching and you like me. My pendulum says some of you like me and you don't hate me. Sometimes I wonder if you're coming for me. And my pendulum says I'm cool, but I'm not convinced yet. I just want you to know I don't have any memory of Asian people harming me. And I came to the aid of Asian people, and I gave a Vietnamese man brass knuckles a month ago for free because I racially profiled him for staring at me too long. I went to buy vape at his place of business. He stared at me too long, and I put him on blast because I thought he was profiling me as a Muslim. Dude wasn't even Chinese. So what if he fucking was Chinese, bro? I don't hate Chinese people. I like them, and only a man of Asian heritage taught me how to fight. And he taught me how to eat Chinese food. And that man held his own in the joint, and all he did is get his money back when a dude ripped him off. Most of you would do the fucking same thing. But it was the 80s. 18, Miami Vice, Hunter, a little bit of MacGyver. I know I don't sense much MacGyver energy in the A-Man. But there was definitely Hunter in there. Mr. T, not so much. Mr. T wouldn't stand a chance against the A-Man. A-Man versus Tyson, don't know. In their prime, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to see. My mother described him as supernatural at one point. But we all have these abilities, folks, in our prime to do good. And so I believe that I meant to pass on to you what little I do know about human capability, about the punch, about internal energy, about old Portland, about how it's not what you think, about how there's a dark side to all types of things. And now there's so many books about the underworld in Portland. Not of the last 50 years, but of old Portland that's kind of set the stage for the degeneracy that led to what has become the modern Portland. You understand? The modern Portland, Oregon came about through unconscious political decisions, and those people, in my opinion, were always connected to a Marv Sin City type of underworld type of reality. What are the villains known for in Sin City that Marv is going after? sex with kids. Epstein style. So what you need to understand, for those of you that are all up in arms about Epstein, is that type of energy and frequency exists right here. And there's a lot of people in political power in Portland, Oregon, that for years, this stuff used to really disgust the A-man, would make a beeline for little boys. So, you know, if men that love that little boy ass energy, or just that man ass energy, are really conscious and are demonstrating a significant role in opposing the New World Order, just drop a link down below and I'll check out their content. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? You're right, he doesn't exist. The man doesn't exist on Earth right now. A man of the homosexual persuasion, as far as I understand it, is not a part of this movement to free the people from the New World Order. Okay, Dave Rubin is the only person I'm aware of that is like somewhat, I guess, like anti-New World Order political, but he's into the right-wing GOP echo chamber, and I'm sorry, that's not enough. You might have some homosexuals that work for the Young Turks that are in this left-wing versus right-wing thing. Sorry. But that's not being truly independent either. You would have to be both homosexual and maybe a minority and be opposed to all the racism and genocide and to be vocal about it. And so vocal about it that it means more to you than what your husband thinks about you, who of course isn't at all a part of the movement. And so when men and women put either their homosexuality or their heterosexuality above freedom, then the chasing of that dopamine hit of their orgasm, whether it's vagina or anus, is going to mean more to them than changing the world. You understand? In a world where men and women are fornicating with love, and they're going to teach those children when they're born advanced skills. I didn't say advanced mathematics. Did I? Now, if you want to go down that route and do sacred geometry or teach them about the Fibonacci sequence and about 3s, 6s, and 9s and stuff in numerology, then hey, you get a green light from me. But algebra in the school system, you don't know shit if you're a new ager and you think the school system is where an indigo golden child should get his learning. You need to go back to school, little girl, if you think the mainstream dentist and public school is where a golden child should be getting their training for the John Connor-ish future. You dig? So for those of you that are going to be mothers, my content is in the training camp. I will tell you things your parents haven't told you about raising a baby, right? If you're smoking while your baby's in the womb, or if you're with an abusive man who's harming you while the baby's in the womb, that trauma from that domestic violence is going to carry through in the womb, and that child may hate themselves, may hate the father, and hate you all in one swoop, and their whole lives could be destroyed because you can't get your primitive Neanderthal instincts under control to stop mating and banging the bad boy. Like we need a planet B where the women like get super like erotically turned on by men that want to do good, that men that work out, men that want to defend women, men that want to expose the New World Order. We don't have that right now. No, you're wrong, and you're a satanic witch if you think even negative thoughts about me, which I reflect back to you. Every day I reflect all of your hatred back to you 3 times fold, 10-fold, right? And nothing but love and compassion and prayers back to those of you and those of you that donate to me, which is so few. So few of you donate. But Trevor has recently, who likes a few people that are of a low level of consciousness. And so for those of you that are going to go out in the wilderness, do not let the traumatizing experiences of Alex Ansary scare you from meeting these men and being your friend. Many of these men may be good to you, so do not let what I have told you about the darkness of these men scare you from visiting their ranch or their observatories or their off-grid communities. Okay, without mentioning names, we have on a planet of 8 billion, we have many, many, many mutual friends. And some of us are straight up related. I told you about the Nagel line, the Lewis line. Then there's the Ansary line, and we don't even know the last name of the East Indian ancestors. You know, the buried history of Ansary, the buried spiritual gnosis within the DNA. Isn't that interesting that when I made mistakes with the legal system, that all they really wanted from me was my saliva? Isn't it interesting that I didn't really begin to feel the pain of this world until many, many, many years after getting off drugs, and many, 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 many years after defending you, white America, defending you from being kicked off your land, defending you, Afghanistan, defending you, Muslim, defending you, Jew, defending you, not so much Israel, but innocent Jews in Israel that are not actually trying to kill Palestinians. And watching some of you defend Israel's actions, knowing what's being shown on Twitter. I'm sorry, are you saying those videos are fake on Twitter? Then write me an essay, Aaron, how Musk, like you people like have these stupid ass arguments about the left, but you don't ever take accountability for the right. Aaron E. of Portland, Oregon. When are you ever going to grow a pair and write about Elon Musk showing war crimes against Palestinians? If you're so against those of us seeing these videos, criticizing your Lord Israel for murdering innocent men, women, and children, when are you going to grow a pair? That's Aaron, associate of G-Man. When are you going to go up here and write an essay then on your buddy Derek Bros' website? Did you tell your buddy Derek Bros? Did he tell your buddy Derek Bros that you're defending Israel, Aaron? I wonder what Derek Bros thinks. Like, folks, you need to stop listening to Matt Walsh. You need to stop listening to Ben Shapiro. You need to stop listening to Stefan Molyneux. They're bastards, folks. They're not actually standing up for all of mankind. I am the dude that you smoked weed with, the dude that you got in trouble, the dude that you taught how to get in trouble, is the dude on planet Earth that's waking up America. And some of you care more about the poontang, as God showed me in spirit, by the way, about you, G-Man. They showed me in spirit that you sat there in a chair and were taking in that female sexual energy, and you were co-opted by that. That's why you're no longer my friend. You were always co-opted by that sexual energy. And you know what you did, didn't you? Did for me, although it wasn't a favor, was it, in 2000, where we purchased the services of a young woman in downtown Portland and went back to your mom's place in 2000, right? Remember that? Remember that? Remember you thought you were doing me a favor? Giving this girl who had a black pimp $200 for 20 minutes of excitement? How pathetic. You think that was helping me? Bro, you don't even know how to help someone. And I would suggest you sit down and shut up. And every single attitude that was fed into you by Stefan Molyneux, Alex Jones, Donald Trump, and Tim Pool, and all your anarcho-capitalistic friends, man, take that and shove it up your wahooza. You ought to thank God you were given the privilege to have had your supervisor job from 2002-3, where you prospered as a man in charge of Mexicans. Dun, dun, dun. But you're a victim. You worked hard for your money. He works hard for his money. So hard for his money. He's so suppressed because he's so damn white. He works hard. No, folks. There is anti-white racism here, and the hammer's cracking down. But for so many years, when I came up, so many of you benefited from the era in which my people were made the enemy. Now that you people are being made the enemy, I am on the front lines exposing it. And yet you people aren't even my bros. You don't tell your sisters about me. You don't tell your wives about me. But you know what? I tell the whole fucking world about you. You fucked up the day you led me into darkness and you bailed on me and you forgot me and you became such of a low IQ that you don't even know how to find out how to, quote, contact someone on the internet. Like the fact that you're in management, dude, building buildings, and you don't know how to the whole audience, dude, knows how to contact me. You don't, and yet you're making $300K a year in Los Angeles. Tell me you're not a reptilian to my face. Tell me you're not a reptilian shapeshifter to my fucking face, bitch. Look into these eyes. What is it about these eyes that would lead you to think for a second that I don't believe every word that I say? You think you're normal. You think you're superior. You think you're regular. You think it's the barbarians on the other side of the wall that's destroying America. Interesting. The same way Morpheus looked at Neo and cross-examined Neo's thinking and went, oh, interesting. Good luck with that, Neo. But in reality, this is the real world as it exists today. Yeah.